And what happened a couple months later?
Well, yeah, I went broke. So my Shopify store that I had built at that time, I stopped focusing on it because I was living this lifestyle. I was making a little bit of money from doing YouTube and doing some coaching on the side, but even that started to slow down as my Shopify store crashed, because who wants to learn from a guy that's making no money on Shopify? And my savings started going down, 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 down. So I said, okay, let me start a new business. So I started a new business, which was a software called Viral Vault. It's a product research software. And this business got me in a situation where I started making money again. I think I went from literally having like $2,000, $3,000 in my bank account. In the span of 2 weeks from launching the business, we were up $15,000 once again. And I thought I made it again. I was like, okay, good. We're back on track. Everything's good. Let's double down on this business. We built like a beta version, but I said, let's double down and build this thing for real. So we decided to work with a proper software development company, and we signed a contract to build an app with them. And the cost was like, I think it was like 35, 37,000 or something. And quickly after signing the contract, my business partner that I had started that company with took the money and dipped on me. So now, as I told you, I had next to no savings. I had signed this contract with these people and I didn't have the money to build it. So I had to keep paying for this company, keep paying for my life in LA. And very quickly, everything came crashing down. I think 6 months later than that, I had $30,000 in debt on American Express cards and Wells Fargo lines of credit. And I was really down. Yeah, down bad, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Here in the US, you can not only going like broke, you can be worse. It's that you have to pay money to the bank that you have a loan.
Yeah.
Something that it's not so easy to do it in Spain, but it's possible.
That sounds nice. You can't go into debt in Spain. That's
we
good.
can, but it's not that easy that here that anybody has a lot of money in the bank account.
Yeah.
I mean in the credit card. So here I feel that it's easier.
The United States is built on debt. Most of the biggest companies in the US are thriving off of consumer debt, like car companies or like banks. Their whole business model is putting people into debt so they can charge them fees on paying that money back. Mm-hmm. So America is built on debt.
Yes, that's crazy. I think that if you know how the game is, you can play it, but if you don't know, it's like a trap that you can go inside.
Yeah, because debt for a poor person is literally the worst thing that can happen to them. But debt for a rich man is usually his number one goal. He's trying to get as much debt as he can so he can acquire as many properties and as many assets as possible and make those assets make more money than what it costs to have the debt. That's really the end game of business in the US. And if you look at these real estate billionaires and tycoons, they have more debt than you could possibly imagine, but they're richer than everybody.
Mm-hmm. Do you use debt?
Yeah, I have a mortgage for my property. I don't have any loans for my businesses at the moment, but the biggest debt that I have would be my mortgage, yeah.
Okay, and when all that happened, you moved back to your mother's house, right? And you started like again.
Yeah, because I tried to start the software business and it failed. And I was like, let me start a business doing the thing that got me my first success. So I started doing e-com again. I had to move back to my mom's house. I was sleeping on her couch, literally had no money to my name. I was the worst I've ever been in my entire life. And this business that I started at her house ended up becoming the brand that I built and sold over the next 2 years. And also, once I moved back to her house, I started documenting that process on YouTube. And from documenting that journey of me being literally down bad, you can go and see the videos on my channel now. I was able to get a couple 100,000 subscribers because I wanted to show people that no matter what happened to you, no matter what type of L's you've taken in your life, you can bounce back. And documenting the journey achieved that for me. And it kept me accountable. You know, it was like, I know that I have to post a video every Friday. And if I start falling off on my brand, the people are going to see that. So I have to stay on point. So yeah, I built this company called Sleep Band. It basically was some headphones designed for sleeping with a sleep mask built into it. And that business really changed my life. Yeah.
Okay, because something that you did, and it's not something popular in the YouTube space of entrepreneurs, is that you sold two business. Normally people have their own business, they make a lot of money, but they never sold. Mm-hmm. But in your case, you sold two. How did you create this business? You created thinking about selling?
So Sleep Band, the company I was just telling you about, was the first company I ever sold. When I started building it, I didn't build it to sell it. But a couple months into the process, I started realizing that I didn't want to make the same mistakes I made with my first e-commerce business. The reason why my first store failed is because we weren't focusing on one main type of product. We were having a general store selling everything, which is great when you're just starting out. But if you want to build an asset and build something that's actually valuable and can be sold, you have to be the best at selling one product or one type of products, whether that's your clothing brand or whether that's your sleep band. And in my case, this time I focused on making the product as good as possible, because any good marketer could have came in and taken my product and just marketed it better than me, and then I'm out of the game. What I did was I spent months and months and months while building this brand, reiterating the product and improving everything about the product. So that way, a year into the business, we had the best product, the best packaging, the best process. And we were able to dominate because of this. We had actual happy customers. We had good ads that we could scale. It was a matter of, instead of testing a bunch of stuff, let me just be the best at this one thing. So that's what made that business sellable. And also not relying just on one stream of traffic. I had before only relied on Facebook ads, which I love to death. But with this business, we not only have Facebook ads, but we had Google ads. We had TikTok organic. We had YouTube ads. It was like I built more of a machine as opposed to just a funnel.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever share for how much money did you sell your store?
No, because in both contracts, I've signed NDAs on the amount because both of the people knew that I was a public figure. So,
okay, yeah. But we are speaking about multi-millionaires deals, or we don't know?
The first deal, yeah, I don't share the numbers of that. I never have, and over all the years of podcasts and YouTube, I've never shared the numbers. But I can say my most recent acquisition was a multi-million-dollar deal for the company that I just told you put me $30,000 in debt, Viral Vault. With the success of the YouTube channel, it got that company back on its feet because now I had a stream of traffic, which was my organic content. And that business just recently sold just about 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations for that.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
And when you moved back to your mother house, did you change anything more than only the business stuff? You changed your habits or your personal life?
Yeah, a big change I made when I moved back to my mom's was I stopped smoking weed. When I was in LA, I was smoking weed every day, lots of it. And I decided to stop when I moved back because one, I couldn't afford it. And two, it was completely frying my brain. And I was using it as like a coping mechanism for actually dealing with the problems that I needed to deal with in my life. And it was actually one of the hardest things about moving back was quitting weed, because for like 2 weeks straight, I was having like bad dreams and I would sweat when I was sleeping and I would crave it all throughout the day. People say that weed is not addictive, but I don't agree with that 100%, especially when you're smoking as much as I was.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that smoking weed, like sometimes it's okay, or you don't recommend any weed?
If you're broke, you shouldn't be smoking weed. No question about it. Mm-hmm. If you've got some money and you've got a family and you've got a life that you're happy with and you want to indulge in some weed every once in a while, it's no different than having a drink. But if you're broke and you're spending your last dollars just to get high every single day, you've got the game all messed up, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree.